And you're on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
Yes, you are. Punchline.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, man. Well, a little bit unexpected, but hey, we're here today, right?
Yep.
That's all that matters.
We're getting all set up.
Yeah, we are. We're getting set up.
Actually, it was a little miscommunication on my part.
Well, we thought the new season started next Sunday.
Well, no, I knew it was this Sunday, but
oh shit, this ain't that episode.
Shit came up, and my kids came up. So me and James talked amongst each other.
Yeah.
And said that it will be not till next Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Justin called and
so
was
where
like,
the fuck are you guys?
Dude, I dragged my kid out here all the way in Columbiana. Where the hell are you guys?
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to make it a wasted trip.
Yeah, it was.
So we might as well just add another one on to our season. 3 years.
We had fights anyway.
Season 90.
Hey, before we go on, we had a little bit of a loss today.
Yeah, we did.
We lost one of. Well, you can go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
One of our first sponsors and our first supporters of the show, right?
A very close friend for a lot of years, for almost 2 decades. Donnie Phillips. They found him dead today.
And he was part of. You always see Don's Automotive on our show. He was one of the first guys. Remember when we first started the show? Remember he'd bring us sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge loss. You know, he took care of our cars for us and everything. So I like Donnie. You know.
Yeah, and a lot of fun stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just want to rest in peace, Donnie.
Yes. Brent's watching. Dana's watching. John, my cousin John's watching. Cool. Benjamin, what's up? How you doing, Benjamin? Dana's watching. And Brent, rest in fury. Brent Fury's rest in peace, Donnie. Yes. And so we jump right into these fights, right? Just jump right into them.
Yeah. Well, I told you last night. I don't care if I'm a host of a show, co-host of a show, or not.
You're the host, man.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? The host.
Shit, nobody.
It's hard to watch it anymore. It's hard to sit through these fights on the weekend, on a Saturday night, and watch some of these fights. I don't know what I know what the problem is. It's just that they're long, they're drawn out. The first fight that was on, or second fight that was on last night,
it was Rigondeaux the second.
Well, before Rigondeaux even came on, that was a fight versus what were the name of them guys? The 2 Cubans or Spanish guys?
Yeah.
That was a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
I caught it at the tail end. But, then I got into the Rigo and Russell. I thought Gary Russell looked good. I thought he looked fantastic.
I didn't think he looked fantastic, Kelly.
But everybody was bringing that guy up to be saying that he was.
Nyambayar was good.
You were picking him to beat Russell.
I did. I picked him.
And I thought Russell handled that fight fairly easy.
I still think that Nyambayar is going to be a force to be reckoned with in that division.
But that just goes to show how good
Russell is.
Yeah, so
I still don't. I think this solidifies my pick, and Leo Santa Cruz will beat Russell.
I don't see that.
Man, he's a lot bigger. And we see every time Nyambayar, he threw lots of punches. Russell doesn't do anything back. If a guy like Leo puts some hands on you over and over, what's Leo going to do?
But that's the whole thing. I keep saying this is totally different.
Leo got hit,
Gary Russell could punt. I mean, he got great endurance.
Yeah.
And he's fast. This kid was built up. He was a 2-time gold medalist. He was this. He was that. He was this.
But he was 11. He was 11.
But you were picking. And I'm saying, and Gary Russell went in and beat this kid. Like, it made him look like he was not a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. It was I don't know. It's hard for me to see him. Gary Russell was a legit dude with the layoff and with being inactive. He still went in and looked like that.
You don't think Leo's legit?
Oh yeah,
He's a 3-time world champion.
I do. I think Leo's great. I like Leo personally, but if they were to fight again, I think it's hard to throw that many punches around when you're getting hit. The hand speed of Gary Russell is phenomenal. But then I went back. That's why I said it was funny last night. Rigondeaux and Gary Russell, and 2 guys that looked fantastic got beat up by Lomachenko. So that goes to show you how good
Lomachenko is. I'm just saying that every time that Nyambayar actually opened up, Gary Russell got hit and didn't do much back. If you have a guy like Leo that's throwing 1,200 punches a fight or 110, 120 punches around, Gary's gonna have his work cut. And a guy that hits hard, Leo hits hard. So,
I
and he's
don't-
bigger. He's a bigger man.
He is, but it's hard to throw that many punches when you got somebody like Gary Russell. We've seen a lot of busy fighters sometimes get beat when they couldn't answer for.
But they said the same thing against Abner Mars that Leo wouldn't be able to do it, and they
said
said the same thing against Frampton.
Abner Mars is no Gary Russell.
But they said he wasn't going to do the same thing against Frampton and all these other guys, and he's done it.
And you know what? And it's one of them fights. It's going to be Santa Cruz, Gary Russell. No way am I saying that Gary Russell goes in and he's going to beat Santa Cruz like he did this guy.
This is legit that me and Kelly do argue. We're not on the same page all the time on boxing. Everybody says, oh, James only agrees with what Kelly says, don't they? Fuck that. We argue about 90% of the time.
Listen, but I'm saying Santa Cruz, I mean, it's not going to be an easy fight for Gary Russell. It's going to be a tough fight. But I'm leaning towards Gary Russell in that.
I'm going to take Leo in that fight. I don't think I'm going to take bets in that fight, but I'm going to take Leo. Hey, there's nothing wrong with, you know what? Gary looked good. But I do think that, but honestly, I do think that Nyambayar is going to be a world champion in this division. I think that kid really did account himself well last night. That was a high-level fight. Scott says the Rigondeaux fight was slow after the first round. The Rigondeaux fight was terrible.
Hold on. It was a horrible fight. Rigondeaux looked good, though. I mean, people are, this is a monster.
Do you think?
But because it's green, it turns out black on the.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does. Pretty cool. Do you think? What was I going to say that though? Do you think on what was it? Shit. Oh, do you think that for me, I thought that Rigondeaux, I think the age monster might have set in a little bit with him. His timing looked a little off. The timing looked a little off. It wasn't getting there like it was. The power was still there, but the timing wasn't there, and the footwork wasn't there. I was just thinking it looked a little older.
First round, it looked like from his previous fight that he was in that mold as like, I'm going to come in here and fight and bang toe to toe with you. But then actually though he looked good halfway through the fight.
I agree.
The last half of the fight, he boxed and he looked good. I think at that weight class, if he stays there, that he could definitely get a title.
Yeah.
But I think if he moves up anymore at his age, I think he's kind of done for.
I was watching that fight last night with Rigondeaux with a friend of mine. He goes, "What's wrong with his eye?" I was like, I've heard of a lazy eye, but Rigondeaux's eye's fucking unemployed. Rigondeaux has like an unemployed eye. It's not even lazy. It's way past lazy. It's unemployed.
Worse than Farmer?
What? No, did you see? Yeah, no. Farmer's goes different. Farmer's looks like a barn door that's not closed. But look at Rigondeaux's eye. One's like, they're not the same size. He has two different size eyes. Like one's like a square and the other one's a circle. It's like the peg game. The peg game, his eyes are all fucked up, man. Tank versus Burchell is what I see. Paul, I like that fight too, but I would love to see Burchell versus Jamel Herring.
That'd be a good fight.
I think so too. What do you think about, Steven Dunster says, what do you think about Anthony Yarde fighting someone with 40-something losses on the weekend? Steven, I think after losing to Kovalev, I think maybe he needs that confidence boost. You know what I mean? I have no problem with it. They're trying to build this kid's confidence again. He lost to Kovalev by knockout,
Yeah.
There's
nobody on YouTube tonight. What the hell?
They will. Well, they didn't know, but we got the numbers on Facebook tonight.
No, we told everybody Sunday. Though.
Benjamin said they thought next week. His eye quit. Benjamin said, "Did Anthony Yarde fight a dude with 49 losses and 4 wins?" Yeah, I think so.
Ricardo goes, "Who wins from Haney and Browner?" I think he's trying to say Broner.
I would take Haney.
I would too.
I would take Haney. I think, and I like Broner. I'm gonna be the first one to say I like Adrian Broner as a person. I've met him. Oh God, I can't even count how many times we met him. But every time you've met him, Kelly, he's like a little brother to you, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Remember at 10 Goose when he came in there, the dude was hanging on your leg like a puppy. He was like, Kelly.
No, he's a cool dude. You're around him.
When no cameras around, he's a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah. But I think Haney now with him. I mean, I think Broner. I think he ran his course. I think he had it, and nothing so much that he's done. I just think maybe a little bit of age. I think a little bit of wear and tear. I just think Haney's young, hungry, and got all the tools. And I think it's actually a good fight for Haney. I think it's a safe, good fight for Haney. I really do.
The thing with Broner is I think Broner's gotten into so many bad habits. He's been so far in his career. I think it's going to be hard for him to break those bad habits at this point. He's gotten into so many of them. And but what people don't realize is Broner really was a talented guy. He really was a good fighter. He was a 4-time champion. I mean, that's That's not easy. I don't care whatever issue you have with Adrian Broner, that is rare.
Yeah, he just fell into a bad habit of
Not doing anything.
not staying busy in the fight and picking it up late. Sometimes picking it up in the last 2 rounds, and they caught up to him.
I agree. I think he just got those habits of trying to be a counterpuncher and then waiting as a counterpuncher, not really counterpunching, but just kind of doing his own thing. And you can't do that, and not in that weight class. You can't do that at 40 and 47. You're going to have to come with something because they're going to eat you up in that weight class. What do you guys, Benjamin Renteria says, what do you guys make of Charlo not taking or responding to offers for Andrade or Canelo? Benjamin, me and Kelly's been saying this all along, that Andrade's been doing this, and they argue with us every time we said that.
And after the way Andrade looked in his last fight, why would Charlo not want that fight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a top dog, I mean, take that fight. Andrade's a household name, or in boxing is a household name, and he's a champion. Take that fight with him. That's the fight right there that you should be kind of confident going into. I don't know.
But I think Charlo, and I'm not being mean, I just think Charlo's happy with the status quo. They're making good money for easy fights. But we've said that before, that they avoided the fight with Canelo, because Canelo's came out and said that they avoided it twice, and then they turned it around on Canelo as avoiding. Everybody jumps on Facebook and YouTube, and they're like, oh, Canelo's ducking. Yeah. Look, man, you guys have called Canelo a lot of things, but ducking is not one of them. that dude will fight a tiger.
He fought everybody, too, so far. I mean, or big names.
Chris Mealy says, Broner just seems too punch shy since the Maidana loss. He wasn't always like this. His condition is still unusually there, regardless of the weight. I agree, Chris. I think something happened along the line, and I think fighting Mikey didn't help that situation either.
I think those thunderous right hands, but even against Mikey,
he didn't do anything.
Mikey frustrated him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away. Mikey outboxed him.
Yeah.
Did angles. I think that was the first time that I've seen anybody, and the only time I still haven't seen really anybody handle Broner the way Mikey did.
No.
But I don't know. I think, and that was another fight though where Broner tried making a push, but it was a little too late in the game. And it's hard when you take all those rounds off. And I'm not saying he did that against Mikey or anybody else, but I think he gets worried about his conditioning, or just saying trying to fight, and then he tries to pick it up, but you can't do that against
We were
Mikey.
at that fight that night. Do you remember, Kelly? And and you said, hey, Mikey's tired. What was it, about 7th round? Mikey's tired. You said Adrian needs to pick it up now that Mikey's tired and take advantage. And he did. He tried. And they did not. I think Adrian saw it. I just think he didn't have the confidence to want to push.
And what I'm saying, in a fight, and this is true, and I want to give everybody a little bit of inside bit. It's really hard, though, when you do that. Like, if you're going to say, well, I'm going to pick it up the second half of the fight.
Yeah.
Because you get in this way for the first 6 rounds, and it's hard. That's why I never did it. It's hard to pick it up halfway through a fight against somebody. Even if they get tired, it's hard for you to get moving once that happens. Yeah. It's never good. And when Broner tries to do that, it's not going to work.
It's true. I agree. You know, when you give these little tidbits, I try not to interrupt you on these because that's important stuff that I don't know, that some of the people on here don't know either, that, you know, that only somebody in the ring.
It's hard.
Only somebody that's been in the ring in pro level world championship fights would know that. So that's why I try to, you know, a lot more of that stuff from you is perfect because people need to hear that.
Yep, it's true.
And Kareem, you're exactly right. AB, if he threw punches, he would be dangerous. When he fought Pacquiao, he hurt Manny Pacquiao about 3 times in that fight, and he did not follow up.
Goodfellas goes, thoughts on Rigo last night. Me and James already talked about it. We'll tap on it real quick. Thought he looked good. Started off a little, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was in there, and he hurt the guy, but then he ended up getting hurt in that first round. He was standing toe-to-toe, but I thought he looked good when he got back to Rigo's style of boxing and angles and moving the head. I thought he looked good last night.
I think that Father Time has kind of caught up with Rigondeaux. I don't know if you agree, Kelly. I just didn't see the timing there.
Yeah.
He missed a lot of shots. He was not pulling the trigger on that straight left like he normally does. And, you know, usually guys that when their timing goes, they don't let that, well, for us, Orthodox fighters, we don't let the straight right go. Guys on Southpaw, obviously, won't let the straight left go. Something happens when you're not in condition or your timing's gone. You don't throw that punch the same way. It just doesn't leave the chamber. It doesn't leave the station.
Well, going back, and I agree with you, and I think it is. I mean, they said he's 39, so probably he's 43.
43, and he's Cuban math. He's 46.
Yeah. So I mean, but I think if he stays at the 118, what was that one last night? 118.
Yeah.
I think if he stays at that weight class, he can still make noise and win a world title and probably be the top of that weight class.
Yeah.
But I think if he tries to move back up any higher, it's not going to turn out good.
John has a good question. Oh, Jaime says Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. If it happens, I think Lomachenko is special. He wins. I like the fight, Jaime. I do. I like the fight a lot. I think Teofimo's special as well. I just right now think that Lomachenko is just a little too much right now. I think Lomachenko will outbox him. But if this fight happened next year, I wouldn't be so confident. And
I'm not as confident as I was last year. I can tell you that. Again, not making. I know people are say you're making excuses. I'm not for Lomachenko, but we don't know. I mean, he is going to eventually start losing, and in boxing, even losing that much against a skilled fighter like Teofimo, is a big difference. And
absolutely.
But we'll see. I mean, Loma may come out and look better than he's ever have.
John Ferruzzi says, Kelly and James, who are you picking the Wilder Fury rematch, and how do they win? I'm going to go out on a limb, Kelly. I'm going to say Wilder wins by knockout.
I don't know yet. If I really, I mean, I hate picking that fight.
I do, but if you know what, I'm thinking that. Go ahead.
If Fury goes 12 rounds like he did the last fight, he wins. I mean, Wilder's not going to outpoint Fury. It's not going to happen unless there's like 3 knockdowns.
My thing is this: Fury said he's going to come out and try to go for a knockout. Fury does not knock people out. If you try to trade with a guy like Wilder, he's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: I think Wilder may have a little more confidence now, knowing he can hurt him, and he's going. I think he's going to track Fury down. I think Wilder's going to knock him out. I really do. I just got a feeling I'm wrong all the time. So how can I know?
No, but that's not crazy to think that. I mean, that could it could happen. That's probably what is going to happen.
Yeah. Joseph said the same thing you did, Kelly. Just goes to show you how good Loma is, the way he destroyed Rigo. Yep. We saw that fight that night, and we couldn't believe it. Well, I called that. I said Rigo was quit on his stool in about the 4th round, and when that happened, I was like, did that just happen? I was just. Lamont Simmons says, after 10 cups of coffee, I made it through a Rigo fight. True.
I made it through almost the entire card.
Dude.
Gary Russell wasn't much better anyways.
No. Philip said a lot of these old fighters are shop-worn. Rigo too. Ugas versus Crawford. Donald, I got Crawford pretty easily with Ugas.
Well, shop-worn is not the term, really. I mean, Rigo, besides Lomachenko, which he really didn't take much punishment in that fight.
What about the 450 amateur fights, though?
But he was a guy who was slick.
That's still 450.
Some of these guys, they're not going through brutal wars. I don't know. I mean, age is age. Sometimes you just got to realize the fact that
one day he just woke up in the morning and was like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, everybody ages different.
I got hemorrhoids and my knees hurt, you know?
Very few times. Like, even Mayweather didn't show us. Like, Hopkins, different breed. I mean, he went on for up to what, 14, 15, 16?
I think Hopkins was just a different breed, man.
Yeah, I mean, but some guys could do that. Some guys at 31, 32 years old are done. But
you know the thing about Hopkins, and I know you know more than anybody is, Hopkins was a guy that never had a vice. He didn't drink. He didn't party. He didn't go out and eat like an asshole. Even when he was on vacation, he ate clean, and the guy kept his body like a temple.
Well, you got guys like Pacquiao who's done everything, but
nah, he was living the life too, bro.
Who?
Pacquiao.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah, but
and he's still beating top welterweights at 43, 42.
It's true, but it affects everybody different. But I can only speak to how I think that. I
agree, but like Mayweather, he's another guy just like Hopkins.
Yeah,
I mean he's by the book. Yeah. I mean, eats healthy, lives healthy life.
Yeah,
but even him, it caught up to him. I mean, the Conor McGregor fight showed us that was an old Floyd that was still able to stop Conor McGregor, but that was not Floyd Mayweather.
Donald Don Williams says Ugas against Crawford. I got Crawford all day against Ugas. Ugas, he's that B level welterweight. I think Crawford right now is the best welterweight in the world.
I think Crawford does what he wants with
Ugas.
Yeah.
See, the thing about Crawford that I like, about Crawford is he can adjust to any style. There's nothing that's crazy for him he will adjust to you. And it might take him around 2-3 rounds, but he will adjust to you. He a lot like Floyd. I'm not saying he's Floyd. Don't get crazy. I'm saying that a lot like Floyd, he gathers data and he starts breaking your style down.
He does. He absolutely does. Goodfellas goes, how does a prime Triple G beat a prime Roy Jones Jr.? I don't think he does.
But try land that big bomb.
But and I think he could do it because Triple G ain't slow either though.
No.
Don't get I want people to like not get confused with that. Triple G's a good fighter.
And you know what Triple G does that a lot of people don't realize? He cuts the ring off fucking awesome.
He does.
And Roy Jones.
And what did Roy Jones have a hard time with?
Guys that cut the ring off.
That cut the ring off and put pressure. That come in.
Do I think Roy Jones beats Triple G in his prime? Absolutely. But would I be surprised if Triple G beat him? Not at all.
No, or knocked him. And I think the only way he's going to beat Roy Jones is by knocking him out.
Because my thing is this: Triple G just didn't get knocked out. We've never seen Triple G really hurt.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Lobster? Steve Z goes, Ugas gave Porter some problems. That's not easy to do.
That's not Crawford, though.
No, I don't think Ugas gave Porter problems. I think Porter gave himself problems because everybody Porter fights is an ugly fight. But that even goes to show, though, no matter who the top guy you put in against Porter is going to be a rough fight.
Oh, man. Jay Cosmo's watching. What's up, Cosmo? John Fruzzi, is Canelo versus Callum Smith done? And if so, how does that fight play out? Does Callum make it competitive at all? I don't see why he wouldn't. Callum Smith is a good fighter.
Against Canelo?
He'd make it competitive. I don't think he's going to beat Canelo.
No, I see him getting beat up.
You do?
Yeah.
I think that...
I see if the only way it's competitive is if Canelo lets him or lets it be competitive. Good. Jake Miller, surprised to see you guys back on Sunday. Well, we are.
Football season's over, guys.
It's over.
We don't compete with the NFL. I know the show's good, but it's not that fucking good.
This one here, Goodfellas. Prime Triple G versus Prime Gerald McCallum.
McClellan. I got McClellan.
I got to take Triple G in that.
Over McClellan?
Yeah. I think his chin is definitely good enough to take a handful, and I don't know if Gerald would be able to take Triple G's, which Triple G will land.
I think but the same thing is Gerald was that big middleweight that you talk about.
Yeah.
And he would beat him for the same reason you'd say you beat him.
Yeah, but
John McClellan was a 6'2.5" middleweight. Triple G's a 5'9", 5'10" middleweight, and the guy can punch and has a good chin. That's the same reason that you say that Triple G would have trouble with you.
That's true. Now you put it that way. Joe McCallum will probably beat Triple G.
He's the same. He's the dude that Joe McClellan. Have you looked at your guys' stats? They're exactly the same. 75-inch reach, 6'2.5". Exactly.
But I think his knockout was better.
He only 1%, 1.1%.
Might have been, yeah.
You were like 88. You were like 88, and he was 89%. And Triple G was like 91. Don't you have the third highest knockout percentage in middleweight history?
This is true.
This is true.
You
guys can look it up. There was a good question here. Hey, Tina. There was a good question here. Oh, Steven, one of the best writers out there from New York. You know Steven pretty well. Spoke to Rigo at fight. He stated he is not going up in weight. That's not. Steven Casper said that Rigo's not going up in weight.
Oh yeah, he should.
I would not. Joseph Bergman says, great point, Kelly. Dana says Fury's dad out there saying Wilder ain't got a chin or a power left. Well, he's gonna say that. I mean, every dad talking out of his ass, because what's he gonna say? Yep. All you have to do is go to Wilder fights, and you can see he can punch. His chin,
he can take a punch.
He stays up.
He does. Steve Z goes Triple G versus Mike McCallum.
I have Triple G on that one. Mm-hmm. Triple G on that one.
Wilder showed Ortiz could hit, and Wilder showed that he could take a shot. I mean, he got dropped, but he got up, and what he showed me was that he could come back as a heavyweight. His endurance is probably one of the top of any heavyweights right now. Yeah. Right now, not saying of all time.
Yeah.
But it's up there in the top 10. I mean, Wilder is going to be hard to beat, hard to go 12 rounds with.
There's some good questions here too, Kelly. Dana says rumor has it Wilder had a broken hand ahead of the first fight with Fury. Never threw the right hand at camp leading up to their fight. It's possible. But we did see Fury get dropped with that same right hand. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not shooting that down because I didn't hear anything. So you're probably right, Dana. Joseph has a good question for you, Kelly. How many fights should an amateur have approximately before turning pro?
Ooh, what?
How many fights should an amateur have before they turn pro?
Oh, man. It depends on the age.
The amateur? Where they fought? There's so many intangibles.
Yeah, but I would say if you got a 20-year-old, 21-year-old kid, I mean, I would at least try to get him to 1 or 2 national tournaments to get the ad experience, and I would say minimum of 40 amateur fights.
It's not how many fights you have; it's the fights you've had and the places you fought. There's kids that has 20 fights that's more than willing to turn pro. There's kids with 100 fights that shouldn't turn pro.
I agree with you, and I don't on that. I'm sorry, because I know you don't like when there's disagreements, but
I do like it. What are you talking about?
I think no matter what, that experience of being in a ring with the lights on, because you go fight 4 fights and fight against all number 1 kids in the country, and you ain't going to get shit out of that because everything's going to happen 1,000 miles an hour, and it's going to go past. I think that 40 fights, and of course with some talent, I agree, but I think 40 fights to get used to that feeling and the speed of the match, which is that going to help you for the pros when it's totally different in a way.
Let me ask you this. Wilder had 48 amateur fights. He fought almost all national tournaments and PAL tournaments, and obviously the Olympics. Broner had 350 amateur fights, and they were all smokers. He never went to a national tournament. Who benefited more?
I think Broner.
Really?
Yeah. But at
one's
the same
Olympic
time,
gold medalist, and the other one's not.
I know, but the weight divisions too. But you gotta look at Broner.
Yeah.
There's a fine line on that. I think you could have too many amateur fights.
I agree.
I think 350 is a lot of fights.
You broke 100 just about, didn't you?
No, I was right under 100.
98, 99, right?
Yeah.
And look where he got you. Look where he got you.
Yeah.
And how many national championships did you pull out? 4, right? I had over 150, and I had 4 national titles. But now look, it didn't matter because look where you got, look where I got. And so.
But I'm saying for the experience, as much to try to get as much experience as you can, because the amateurs does get you ready for the pros.
It does.
But I think if minimum, I think 40. I think anywhere a good amount of fights for a kid coming up through all the years. Yeah. I think is from 80 to 200.
Yeah. I think
that's fair.
I think a lot of for me. I think a lot of it depends on the fighter, the kid's maturity, and how well he's trained. Canelo had 3 amateur fights.
Yeah, but he also had enough fights in the pros.
No, but he did fight it all before the pros. He only had 3 amateur fights, and he turned pro with only 3 amateur fights under him.
But they put him in Mexico.
Chavez had only 1. I mean, these guys aren't getting them. And then you have guys like
They fought pro in Mexico against guys who
should have been.
Who I think had worse eyes than Farmer.
The guys that were driving Ubers.
Good fellow goes, Kelly, what food did you try to stay away the most during your career? Oh, man.
Pasta, probably, huh?
Pizza,
pasta,
burgers. I had to, especially trying to make 160 at 6'2". Hard.
Yama says, James, I don't think Fury is crazy enough to trade with Wilder. I think he's just getting into his head. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get into Wilder's head. I don't think Wilder gives a shit. But if he does try, there's going to be trouble. And I really don't think it's going to matter. I personally think that Wilder wins. I like Fury. This is just a feeling I have. I'm wrong all the time. So don't get on there and say, I told you, you don't know shit, motherfucker. That's what they'll do.
I know a whole bunch of people that you beat on fucking picks.
Oh, I know.
Pretty much anybody on the page.
I stayed in the 90s, but I don't think I'm as high as you are on picks, though.
Here's a good one. And this one's going to probably spark up a combo that's going to piss some people off.
Yeah.
Did you see it or something? No. Did Gotti deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? My opinion is yes.
If Boom Boom's in, he needs to be in. What?
If Gotti is you guys are just I can't do it with you guys. I just
okay, we'll be good. Go ahead and tell a story.
My leg just got numb.
It's because Razor Car fucked you up for making fun of him.
You got shit. All right. Here's the reason why I think Gotti does belong in it.
Okay.
Gotti, he could fight. Gotti could fight.
World champion.
Yeah, he could fight. And Gotti fought really good guys.
Fought everybody.
Mm-hmm. And got beat by probably got his ass whooped by probably one of the greatest of all time.
Floyd and Oscar, right?
Yeah.
At that time.
But he also not through any I don't know the term that I want to use for this. I gotta watch how I am not even going to word it. I guess I'm just gonna let it go. But he literally like earned his fame.
Yes.
He fought wars and battles and bloodfest. I want to call it. He definitely earned it. I mean, he brought people to the sport to watch because of that. And every time you watch Gotti fight, you knew that he was going to give his best, and that was going to be some type of fight. The guy didn't start fighting until he got dropped. If you drop Gotti, your night was you're in for a long night. I think that's why. There's other people that have made it that didn't do what Gotti did.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think what Gotti did. I think Gotti brought fans to the sport that would never have found boxing without Gotti.
Absolutely.
Because I remember myself. I remember being in the military, and people would go, "Did you see that fight last night? Did you see that Gotti guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, Arturo." We go, "Yeah, that fucker's an animal."
Yeah.
And they were talking about the Mickey Ward and Gotti fight, and people that never watched a fight in their life became fans for life because of that guy. And I mean, look, if you're going to put Sylvester Stallone in the Hall of Fame, and you're going to put some of these other people in the Hall of Fame, and Sylvester Stallone's in the Hall of Fame for the same thing, for changing the sport of boxing, bringing people to sport. Why not put Gotti in for the same reason?
Exactly. Who fought? What's up, Damon? He goes, fellas. I don't know if he wants to get our attention or say hi.
Just saying hello.
Hi, Damon.
My cousin Eddie's watching.
Goodfellow says, thoughts on Floyd Mayweather winning a fighter of the decade?
I agree, 100%.
Why not?
Why not? Who's better? Other than Manny's the only one close.
Yeah, and you can't give it to Manny over Mayweather.
No, but I mean, Manny would be a second choice, right?
Absolutely.
For me, I don't know. I'm not going to answer for you.
No, he was. Floyd definitely, hands down,
yeah,
was the fighter of the decade. No matter how much you want to say
Dislike
no
him.
or dislike him, you cannot argue that.
Floyd is another one that changes the. Hey, look, the beautiful Jackie Lynn's watching.
Hey,
Jackie. No, but Philip Mitchell says, one day in the ring, we all know it's time to hang him up. That's why the accumulation of punches catches up with you. It affects your reflexes, but last to go is the punch power. I can't argue with nothing he just said. Everything he just said is correct.
Tito was the same when he got dropped. Heart of a champion.
Who?
Tito.
Yeah, Tito. But Tito was never hurt like Arturo Gotti.
No.
There was a big difference. Arturo Gotti was legit hurt and bleeding out of
I think Gotti wanted to get hurt and dropped.
And Tito was 100,000 times more skilled than Arturo Gotti, but nobody had heart like Arturo.
Yeah.
TJ Rios watching. Yama says Prince Nassim Muhammad or Prime Amir Khan. The weight classes are totally different, man.
Khan's a lot bigger.
Yeah, you couldn't even put those fights together. Amir was 140 and Nassim was 118.
That had to come from a Middle Eastern dude.
No, Yama is probably Mexican. But I hope, if not I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But he's too small. But if they were the same size, I'd give it to Nassim Hamed.
Yeah, he could fight.
Joseph said, my kid just started. He's 19, Kelly. Joseph, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's 19. You're going to probably want to move him a little more aggressively now. Sergio Martinez started when he was 20, and things can you can be successful. But if I'm going to be honest with you, the odds are against him at that age.
Unless he's
just
that talented and skilled. Yeah, but let him fight amateur.
You got to be more aggressive with him, move him more fights. Get him
to find a good trade, a job,
college.
Not in this damn sport.
College, but the thing is, when a fighter fights over 16 years old, 15, 16, you want to be a little more aggressive with the fights, get him more fights, get him more experience. A lot of times, your best fighters are 8, 9, 10 years old when they start. Some are younger.
Yeah.
I remember I started training at 7. I didn't have my first fight till 8 because that's USA boxing rules. I don't know if they've changed since then, but I knew it was 8 before your first fight.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I thought 8 or 9.
8, it was 8 then. It was fucking 19.
Because somebody just asked me what my boxing gym, what age, and I told them 8 because
8.
Not being mean, but first of all, you're going to bore the shit out of a kid, a 7-year-old. Yeah. They asked how about 7-year-olds? I'm like, no, because you're going to bore the shit out of that kid. Yeah. You can't fight him.
But they can train them.
You can train them, but I don't even think they can spar. Really, I think you can get in trouble if somebody finds out.
Yeah.
But I don't personally.
You don't want to do that.
I don't really want to spar an 8 or 9-year-old.
Yeah.
But you could start doing it if that's what they want to do, and their parents are okay with it. Then
The beautiful Cynthia Lopez is watching. She's so awesome. I love Cynthia. She's from Oxnard. She's from the.
Goodfellas has a good one.
Yes, sir.
Is Adrian Broner more accomplished than Gotti?
Yes.
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 There's no question. Gotti was world champion. Some of the big fights that he stepped up and fought, he lost. He lost most of his big fights.
How many weight classes did Gotti win a title in?
2.
Was it 2?
2, I believe. 30. He was a champion at 30 and was a champion at 40, right? You guys help me out. There's a lot of historians on here.
I know. I don't know. I thought maybe he just was like.
I know he was 30 for sure.
Ranked high at 40. I know he was a world champion.
He was WBC. He had the 130-pound crown, and he had the IBF's crown too, didn't he? I know he had won the IBF.
I think he had the IBF more so than the WBC.
Oh, come on, Dylan. Rigo versus Inoue. Who you guys got? Oh, Inoue. Inoue to beat the piss out of Rigondeaux. I mean, I'm just.
3 years ago?
Yeah, it'd be closer.
Yeah.
But who knows? We saw what happened 2 years ago with Lomachenko, and I think Inoue is on that same level.
Or wait a minute. No, yeah, 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
3 years ago. Was that 3 already? No, not 3 yet.
It was 2 years ago when we saw Lomachenko Rigondeaux.
Yeah, it was December of
17. 17, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the first fights we did, right? I mean, Broner Mikey was the first fight we did for the show. Lomachenko and Rigondeaux was second. Was that correct?
No.
No?
We did a handful in between.
We did?
We did the one in Washington.
Oh, yeah. We did a Lomachenko Sosa. Mm-hmm. And Kovalev. We did a Kovalev fight.
I think that was before Mikey Broner.
We did Bivol. Oh, yeah. That was the first one. We did Bivol. We had the Bivol fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And actually, I think even the very first one was Atlantic City, wasn't it?
Yeah. And does Triple G chance of beating Canelo?
Atlanta.
Dylan has another question, too. Does Triple G's chance of beating Canelo gone with Father Time?
Who? What?
Triple G's chance of beating Canelo gone with Father Time?
I think so.
I think so. You're not beating Canelo right now. Triple G is just...
Lobster 11, you got one. I don't agree with it. Adrian Broner is accomplished at ruining his career.
Okay.
It was a great career.
It was a good career, man.
I mean, because he got beat?
It's because he probably did stupid shit.
No, but that's his... He fought good fighters. Yes. I mean, he didn't lose to, like... I don't get it. I mean, he fought good fighters who outboxed him.
He fought some of the best. He had a great resume. He really did. I think people are so. I think people like to point fingers, and I'm not saying this person. I'm just saying in general. I think people like to point fingers at anybody successful or moderate and pick what this guy's did or how shitty this guy did when they don't look at themselves. Broner has never went to your job at UPS and said you were a shitty box handler. Mm-hmm. He's never went
there. You ruined your delivery career.
You ruined your delivery. You'll never be the same. He never went to fucking McDonald's and flipped burgers for you and said you're the shittiest burger flipper ever.
You missed that order. You've been out late last night.
You've been out late. You were out drinking and partying. You grabbed a woman by her vagina.
Yeah.
You should be in jail for sexual assault. And these guys do that. But how many times have they grabbed a chick by her vagina in the bar or drank their weekly paycheck up at night in the bar and then come home and talk shit about a fighter like Errol Spence for doing it?
Well, you're at the bar pretty late last night there, buddy. A little slow today at work.
Sure. The only difference between
you're ruining your career.
Yep. You know what the only difference between guys like Errol Spence and you were, Kelly? You guys drink top shelf and they don't.
Yeah, right.
That was the only fucking difference. You have the money to drink top shelf.
Or I bought them.
Or you bought it.
Around because I felt bad.
You guys,
nothing's worse than watching a person open his wall and go.
Victorino Sanchez says, "Do you guys ever go to PBC, Top Rank, and the Zone pages for the hell of it to laugh at casuals?" Victorino, I'll be honest with you, I don't go on any pages anymore because I'm too fucking old to have a heart attack from anger. You know what I mean?
What's that?
Victoria asked if we ever go to PBC, Top Rank, or DAZN pages for the hell of it to laugh at the casuals. I said, no, I'm too old to have a heart attack for being pissed off.
Emilio goes, Kelly and James, what tips can you give to be successful as an explosive amateur boxer at 165?
Oh, shit. Go ahead, Kelly.
Well, first of all,
train, man. Work.
Yeah, you got to train your ass off, and you got to know what you're doing when you're training your strength conditioning to be explosive.
At 165, I can't tell you. I never fought that weight.
Yeah, because it's like right in the middle of being that light, like the lighter weights, and then it's also at that stage where the motherfuckers hit.
Did you fight at 65?
Well, I fought at 60 and then 68.
No, in the amateurs, did you ever get 65?
No, I was 56.
You never. I was right if you ever broke that. The heaviest I ever fought in the amateurs was 56 myself. I never got 65.
Mm-hmm. And then Goodfellas says, yeah, 130, 140. Floyd took his 140 belt.
That's what I thought. No. His question is just train. Just train. Listen to everything. Listen to everything that you hear, and keep the good stuff and throw out the bad stuff. You're gonna get good advice when you're boxing. Take it in. The bad advice, throw out. Listen to your trainer. Train right, eat right, get plenty of sleep, and let their talent do the work. If you're talented, the work will speak for itself.
And if you don't want a gut, take it in the butt. Wait, that was off topic.
I'm thinking about that. Like, it's physics, damn it.
Hey, I'm allowed to throw some shit out there.
Hell yeah, you are. You're allowed to confuse me like you just did. Hey, people, Dax Khan, one of my favorite writers too. Probably the smartest guys in boxing, I think. People don't always get what Hall of Fame means aside from accomplishments. He brought a lot of fans' attention to sport. Exactly.
He does.
True. Exactly. Omi's watching.
Yep. Michael Donahue said, "You guys talk about Gary Russell yet?" Yeah, we did, Michael.
I thought again.
Yeah, we thought he fought a good fight. I thought he looked great. Boring, but that's Russell's style. And I liked it. I like watching his fight a little bit. He did good. I thought he really looked good.
Dax Khan, that's why we have him on the show. I say he's probably one of the most knowledgeable guys. He said his record of championship fights was very good. 7-2 in title fights, 9-3 against former or current champions. Broner.
Oh yeah,
that's better than a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's in there. Bobby Mills, what's up, Bobby? Jude. Dax has Naz based on punching power, Amir more complete. Brera beat Naz using the 1-2, and he nowhere near had Amir Khan's speed. My thing on that, Dax, is this. Brera had a chin from hell, didn't he? Brera had a chin from hell. You're not. We know Amir didn't have Brera's chin, so.
Yeah. Brera had they all did. Him, Morales.
Dude.
Horse goes, I think you just coined a phrase, Kelly. No gut, up the butt.
I don't even coin that, but it's still hilarious.
Yeah. I've heard that.
I have, and it's awesome.
Who wins? Roman Gonzalez versus Yaffe.
We're going to be watching that fight. That's on the undercard of Mikey.
Is it?
I'm hoping, Rudy's trading Chocolatito for this, so we got to go with, I'm going with Chocolatito.
I'm going to go with him because of Rudy. I don't know much on the other guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Benjamin says, Maidana, Pac-Man, Mikey, no shame. Losing to some of the best. AB has had a good run. I can't argue with that. Do I like some of the shit that Broner does? No. But you know what? He's a grown man. That's his career. If he wants to fuck it up, it's on him.
He fought the guys. If you get beat by him and you fought him, though,
I've never
get credit for that too.
I've never heard Broner duck a fighter before. Yeah. I've never heard Broner say, I'm not fighting him. And let me tell you what, it's possible he beats Devin Haney on experience alone.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised. I wouldn't call it really.
Devin Haney's a small guy.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Adrian could fight.
Yeah.
Again, he's never really been totally outclassed besides, I think, Mikey Garcia.
Yeah. Philip says, I started boxing in the UK at 10, competitively at 13, never with head guards. What do you think? I was at the Golden Gloves today, and a 10-year-old was KO'd cold for 3 minutes. They had to take him away in an ambulance. I've never fought without headgear. I've never fought headgear without it, so I couldn't. I've backyard fought without headgear stuff, but I've never fought competition without headgear. Kelly could tell you the difference, maybe.
I think there's a difference. I think.
Well, I'm sure, but what do you like, with or without headgear?
Well, when you're fighting pro,
the amateurs are no headgear now in the Olympics.
I know. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think the headgear does help. It's not like football. The headgear is not made out of a hard plastic. What is the helmet made out of? What material?
That's a polymer.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's a hard fucking object, and you get tackled. I think that's where it comes into play, where it hurts the player more because all that stays inside that helmet.
Oh, dude.
Amateur, I think the headgear they're padded. So you got to get through that.
Still hurts.
It still hurts. So, and you still get knocked out. Don't get me wrong. You get knocked out with sparring gloves, 14, 16-ounce sparring gloves and a headgear. But I think it's very. I've seen less people get knocked out in the amateurs because of that reason, though.
Yeah.
Because of them headgears.
Dak says Broder and Gotti both have the same record in title fights, 7-2. You can't argue with that. Gail. Lynn, I love Gail. She's so awesome. She goes, "Hey boys, where's the Punchline red carpet today to compete with the Oscars?"
Gail, the Oscars are on tonight.
Oscars are, yes. I don't know, Gail. You should have set it up at your house. We'd have had the red carpet in front of your house.
Let me rattle these ones real quick. Prime Julian Jackson versus Prime Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Ooh.
I'll tell you why. That chin of Julian's.
Yeah. But Trinidad really, I mean, his chin was tough, or decent, but he got dropped a lot.
He got dropped, but he always got up.
I don't know if he could get up from Julian, though.
And also, Julian was 50. Yeah, I would take Trinidad. I think Trinidad would get to Julian before Julian got to Trinidad, though.
I mean, either or.
Who would you go with, the speed and technique or the power? Because Trinidad's speed and technique.
Julian could fight, man.
He could, but
he's speed.
But Trinidad was faster and sharper.
Trinidad was sharp.
Trinidad would have got to. I think Trinidad would have got to Julian before Julian got to Trinidad.
I may have to agree with you on that. Is Kell Brook ready for a title shot?
Kell Brook's always been ready. He's a world champion. Yes,
Should be.
Do I think he's a weight class where he's an uphill climb on it. 147 is he at 47 or 54 now?
I don't know.
Well, if he's at 47, he needs to go to 54. If he's at 54, he needs to stay at 54. Because right now you got some killers at 47. Keon's watching. Glad maybe we'll catch the show. What's up, Keon? How you doing?
Hurst Urodian. He goes, Champ, you mispronounced my name. Hurst Eurodia. I can't.
Horace Eurodian on.
Yeah, help us out with that.
Yeah, just break it down.
Break it down.
I went to a state college. Break it down for me.
Yeah, but then Horst Eurodian said Hawk was deceptively quick with his power shots. He was. That's what I'm saying.
He was. There was no argument on that.
Listen, I always say this, and even with me, when you have a high knockout ratio, to land that heavy punch, that knockout punch, you got to have speed, right? I mean, you're not going to be that slow where you can't land it.
Speed is power.
Exactly. So obviously you got hand speed if you're able to catch people with that shot. Hurst, you rode. Horse? Is he messing up with the T? Horst, you rode in on. Oh,
okay, got it. You rode in. Okay, you rode in on. Okay, got it. Cool.
Oh, okay. Horst, though.
Horst.
Pretty clever.
I like that.
You rode in on?
Hey, Yama says, hey, James and Kelly, do you know any good professional coaches in Minneapolis or Minnesota, Minneapolis? You know what? I really don't.
LaSalle's.
Who?
LaSalle.
LaSalle?
Yeah, I think they're coaching, ain't they? I heard.
Yeah, but I don't know if are they still coaching out there?
I think they're over there, ain't they?
Well, Kelly had a name for you. What, LaSalle?
Jason Litzow.
Oh, Jason Litzow, yes.
Yeah.
Jason Litzow, yeah, the Litzow.
I think they are training guys, though.
Yeah, check with Jason Litzow.
Their dad was?
Yeah, Jason Litzow was a good pro.
Great amateur.
Great amateur. Oh, dude, that dude he was a monster as an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
Does the headgear interfere with your vision?
It could.
A little bit. It kind of the preferential on the sides a little bit. But you're an amateur. You don't need all your vision.
Mainly the sparring and amateur competition headgears are different, and sparring messed you up a lot. That's why you see a lot of fighters that spar a lot. When they fight, you always see the guys that go like this all the time.
Yeah, pushing the headgear.
Usually that comes from a habit of pushing their headgear up during sparring.
And I always wore the winning full face. I always wore that, And so you definitely can't see. All you got is that slot. You wore it too, didn't you? The winning full face.
I did. No, not the full nose.
You didn't wear the full nose one?
The original one I had, it came to here.
Okay.
And then when I got to California,
they give you the winning.
They started giving me the nose guard.
That was nice, but you can't see shit, can you?
No, you can't.
Dax said the power of Jax was dangerous at the elite level. I think the majority of the stoppages came inside of 6. I do agree, Dax, but the majority of all times he was stopped came within 4. Every time that Julian was stopped, it was within 4 rounds by the 6 losses he had. I just think Trinidad might have just be a little too much power-wise for him.
Armando Gutierrez says, I think Rigo could beat Inoue.
I don't see it, but it's possible.
I mean, it is because Rigo could punch, and he's still got enough speed where he's going to catch you. He's fast. Yes. He got good moves. But Inoue, he's strong.
And he's young, and he's hungry, and he can punch too.
Yeah, and he could take a shot.
We saw last night Rigondeaux hurt multiple times. Inoue hit a lot
before he got hurt.
Yeah, and Inoue hits a lot harder than that dude last night. Mm-hmm. And anybody that's going to question that are crazy.
I think Inoue could take a shot.
He can. Look, Donaire is one of the hardest punchers out there, and he took that shot. I think Dylan say, guys, Meg's watching. Hey, Meg. Oh, my girl Megan's watching. Have you had an Achilles injury from running? I have not. Have you, Kevin?
No.
Nope, we have not.
Goodfellas.
Have
says,
you, Justin?
Yeah.
What happened?
Twice. It tears all the time now.
You tore it? How long did it take you to recover?
Talk to us.
Took about 3 months, and then I tore it again 2 years later.
Did you do it during MMA training?
This is the first time I did, and then the second time, it's constant, and I can feel it when it's going to happen again, and I have to stop doing any type of running stuff for like a couple weeks and let it gets tight, and then it just rips.
How long did it take for you to get back in the cage during that when you hurt it?
3 months.
3 months? Fuck.
I feel mine all the time now too.
Do you?
Though. I stretch it out before, like on the calf machine.
You know when it's gonna go, and when it went the second time it went on me, it went after I was done with my workout. I ran 10 miles, and I was cooling down, and I went to walk up my steps, and it blew out on my steps, and it blew out. My ankle swelled up like it was crazy.
You see this? Megan said a hey, but it has 6 Y's. You know what that means? She wants to ride the brown pony.
Yeah.
When you get 5 Y's, it means you want to ride the brown pony, right? Gotcha, Megan.
All right,
Thanks,
I got 2
Scott.
blue ones.
Hey, Hector Beltran's watching. If you guys don't know, Hector Beltran's one of the best coaches in the country.
What's up, Hector?
He's one of Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s coaches, one of the best fighters in the world. So,
Goodfellow goes, how does Jermell Charlo beat a prime Tommy Hearns? He don't.
He don't.
Horseshoe wrote in on Champ. Any thoughts on Vernon Forrest? He was my neighbor. Mad love for him. My real name is Max, by the way.
We went to the memorial service, didn't we? We went to his memorial. Remember that?
We did.
We went to his memorial. I love Vernon.
Yeah, it was sad.
It was sad.
He was a good fighter, man. He was really good.
And dude, you know what? And you were sick yourself, and you made it.
Yeah,
you made it. You were sick as fuck, right?
Did. Michael Donahue says, Kelly, just curious, how much would you spar when you were preparing for your world title fights? I would do it 3 days a week, and depending on it, we would go up, starting off 4 rounds, 6 rounds the first couple weeks, and then you go up to 10, 8 and 10, and then we'd always spar 12 rounds one time.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many rounds did you do total? Because I know there's so many schools of thought. You'll have some fighters say they don't do more than 150 rounds, and you'll see some they don't do any in less than 300 rounds.
I'd say I was right around the 150.
Were you?
Yeah, right around
the
there.
smaller guys will do 300 rounds, won't they?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You'll see Mikey says he does 300 rounds, but Mikey doesn't like to run. You get some like Leo Santa Cruz, he don't run, but he'll do 300, 400 rounds of sparring because he don't run. And Mikey will run, but he doesn't like it. But he'll do more sparring than run. But you didn't mind running, did you? So. Oh, Yama says, how do you spell his name? It's Litzau. Jason Litzau. Litzau.
I ran.
You can use BoxRec to find him too.
5 days a week.
Meg says lies.
On top of that.
Meg says lies, but she has 5 S's, so no, it's not. Riggo said he can make 115. I'm sure he can. Riggo's a small guy. I mean, we've seen him multiple times. He's a little guy. He can make 115.
Who?
Rigondeaux can make 15. He's a small guy.
Small. He's small shit. I mean, but you think about it, 115, that's light.
That is light. Fuck.
For a guy. He'd be a fucking horse jockey.
That wouldn't be a bad fight. You know that fight?
You know what I mean?
About the weight that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well just go do that.
What do you think about that fight, guys? Chocolatito at 115 and Rigondeaux as a go-away fight. Just end them all for both.
There we go.
I'm gonna take Chocolatito. Maybe not. Chocolatito's small, moving up. Rigondeaux's coming down. I think, yeah. Darren says, Kelly, did you watch tape on your opponents, or did you let your trainer handle that? I know you're curious as shit. You were watching it.
I watched.
I know you do.
I was the only one. Me and my dad was the only ones that watched. But I will also say this. I didn't watch much of it, though.
Yeah.
Because, and this was my take on it.
Yeah.
I would watch, don't get me wrong, and I would break down.
Make you nervous?
A little bit, but nothing like where I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to fight that fight. Especially watching guys like Geddes and Miranda and Zortucci.
Killing people?
Yeah, but the reason being is because it's hard to find tapes. It was hard to find them fighting somebody 6'2".
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And what they did against these guys, they probably were not going to do against me.
What was that? 5'10"? 5'11"?
Yeah, 5'11". And so I mean, you can't really, because that could screw you in the long run by like basing what you see in them fight, like Zartucci. I seen the 2 big wars that he had with Zuniga, an opponent that I fought, but they both kind of fought me different than they fought each other.
Okay.
You know, so you can't really.
That shows they studied you. That shows they were both studying you, though.
But you can't rely on who they fought.
But you rely on their style though. That doesn't.
Yeah, I mean you can pick up some of the things from it, but they're gonna try to get inside, or they're gonna try to land something different. Even if they're fighting a fight, say they fought another 6'2" guy, but what if he was a boxer that fought like the European style, Eastern European tall, and I'm in there fucking using my reach, but I'm bringing 90 punches around
and head movement.
Yeah, so it's hard. I mean, I really would never find myself watching way too much film on it, because then you become that what you see is what you train for, and fight night you're going to be in for a hell of a surprise.
Did your dad break down the fights too?
As much as he could. Yeah. He would point out.
You get nervous as shit. You get nervous watching it.
Yeah, but my dad always knew his role too. That's what I loved about it. That's why he was such a big help. My dad didn't step in, and my dad didn't try to be a trainer. And my dad, he pointed out things and to me, that he's seen, and they were, because 4 eyes is better than 2.
True.
And you go back over and we watch it, and yeah, we pick up on it.
Your dad was good for watching the green, making sure that didn't go nowhere. So
right.
Your dad was probably your lifesaver for that.
Absolutely.
Probably your best ally. Dana says, Kelly, we can spar, but no punching me in the face or the body.
Who said that?
Dana said you can spar, but no face or body punches. Fair enough.
Fair. Ball shots.
Fair enough. Hector says, I like to watch film to see timing and any bad habits that we capitalize. Exactly. And that's what most watch.
But the bad habits are usually picked up by what that fighter is doing.
Yeah, that's Hector talking about.
Yeah.
But
I know, but even for me, Hector's probably, obviously
he knows.
He knows.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, for me, if the guy who has a really sharp right hand, but I'm watching him fight another guy who's slower but was a champion, and he's sitting there, he may not drop that left hand against me, knowing that my right hand is fast and hard. He may come in like this. It's all different. It's just the way I looked at it. What they're doing against one opponent, they may not do the entire fight.
Sometimes bad habits are with every fight, though, and they just get. And Scott said, "Did your dad ever box Kelly?"
No. Oranges.
He boxed you guys' ears when you acted up.
Yeah, right.
Justin's watching. How's Justin watching and doing the show at the same fucking time?
I'm amazing.
He is talented.
Justin's shape-shifting again. He's a skinwalker.
That's why we hired him.
He's a skinwalker. He almost fired us tonight for not fucking being here.
All right,
party for the party.
Mr. Just Because, would you take Great Depression era training versus today's training? Thinks it makes a difference.
We talk about this all the time. I will fucking take training today.
Yeah.
Tell him why.
Well, here we go.
Fucking Harry grab.
Yeah, Harry grab.
Fucking grab.
Now listen. Hell yeah, I like some of the Rocky IV, like break it down, because everybody goes off Rocky IV like, well, the Russian had all that science and
it's
sports science and everything, and Rocky. But listen, I would take some of that shit Rocky was doing in Rocky IV, because I think like on the machine I got down there, it's great, the hit mill where you do the farmer's carry. Is it the same though as grabbing a row barrel with cement in it and going up a hill? It's totally different. Yeah. It's a lot harder doing that. And I like to implement that type of strength and conditioning training. Yeah. But yes, for the most part, sports science today has advanced so much, and you can see it. I mean, in everything, any athlete today. So I would take both. I would utilize both. But you get some guys out there that don't want to hear about it today. They want to go pound a medicine ball off your guts, thinking that it's making your stomach strong. They
think that punching a speed bag makes you faster.
It don't.
And it does nothing but give you a good shoulder workout.
It's a shoulder workout.
It's the most overrated piece of boxing equipment in the gym.
Which you can just save the time and add 2 more rounds of mitt work and then have them go to when they do their strength and conditioning, do other exercises.
Dude, did we just agree that we both agreed without talking about it that the fucking speed bag is the most overrated?
It is. I would do away with it.
Can I tell you what else is? The heavy bag. Heavy bag's overrated too.
It is. It's a bad habit. The combos you throw on there are unrealistic, and damn well. To me, the heavy bag was a break.
I took a break.
Go hit the heavy bag. Okay.
And you can just bullshit your time on.
Yeah.
Now I think mitt work, and I also like the double in bag. I think the double in bag's good.
It is. I think shadow boxing. If you talk to your fighter and have them shadow box as they would fight. Picture your opponent too, especially in the pros. If you're a pro fighter and you're able to get film on your fighter, your whole entire shadow box should be 5-6 rounds of warming up, but picturing that.
sparring.
The ropes with the string.
Not the one rope.
Not the one string.
Shitty.
That's stupid.
You want 5. You want the diamond.
Yeah.
You want the star pattern.
Like a spider web almost.
Or a star pattern.
Yeah.
Because then you can duck vertically.
You're constantly moving, and you duck side to side. You duck going forward, backwards, and you still punching. Those are the things for where your boxing should be. That's my opinion.
Well, the single rope, all that does is slip side to side, and it does nothing. You need to move. You need to move vertically, diagonally, horizontally, and that's constantly. What that star pattern rope will do.
That way, when you go this way, the guy may throw a punch. You're moving, and it's not going to help you with your reflexes. It's going to, or your reaction time. No. It's going to get you in a habit of moving your head, though, which is always better than not moving your head.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the double end bag. I like it just because it makes you move your head. Not for nothing else, but just moving your head.
It does.
But
everybody knows they hit a fucking double end bag. You know what punch you're throwing and which way you're moving your head, though.
You also know how embarrassing it is when you get caught with that fucker. When it hits you back in the face.
I used to get caught with the fucking
hit you in the snout.
I'd be there like, rubbing my fucking head like this. That buckle come back and it's like.
Or when you miss on the edge, and then that ball spins, that buckle
hits you in the elbow. Yeah. It hits you in a funny bone, and that shit's not funny.
Fuck no. There's nothing funny about that.
Make your asshole pucker.
Dylan Wells Warner, how can women affect your training? Depends who you're married to, man. Yeah. My woman fucked my training all up.
Yeah, it's I was fortunate on that one. I ain't gonna lie.
I need you home. What the fuck? You need me home? I'm training for national. I need you home. No, I know what he means. A good woman, a good relationship is the strongest ally you can have in your boxing career. A bad relationship is not good.
It's not. It's horrible.
Your wife is very fucking awesome.
We got 4 minutes.
Yes.
Because the weather outside is
frightful.
Yes.
Is that the one name? Frightful?
Yeah, frightful. How much longer do you think Shakur Stevenson has until his body has trouble cutting to featherweight? He's only 22.
He has a while.
He may have 4 more years.
The kid, Shakur's gonna be a star. I like Shakur.
Potentially controversial opinion, champ. Floyd's shoulder roll wasn't as refined and effective as James Toney's
because he didn't do a shoulder roll.
And he did a little bit. And where I'm gonna go on that is I think that his shoulder roll was a lot better than James Toney's.
But I agree. Go ahead, tell him why.
Because Floyd actually made you pay for it off that shoulder roll. He would lure you in with that, and you're right. It's not really a shoulder roll. I mean, he did roll it because he would turn it this way and catch you. He would go over and catch you with the uppercut.
No, I agree. But what Floyd did, and Floyd said it many times, you guys, you go back and some of his older videos will tell you, what he did is a hybrid off the shoulder roll. He did not do the shoulder roll. He did what they call, there's the Philly shell, and there was the shoulder roll. He took both of those, and he mixed those together. Those days is like Gypsy Joe Harris from Philly. He was a master of the shoulder roll. You had Tyrone Everett, who was also a Philly shell guy, but a great defensive guy. What he did was he mixed those because the shoulder roll is defensively irresponsible. If you see guys like Gypsy Joe Harris who did that Philly shell, his eyes were fucked up. His face was gnarled because he had that he had that chin tucked, but he was getting hit all up here and here. What he did, but now with that Philly shell and that shoulder roll, you're using that elbow and you're using your rear hand to catch punches.
But he would roll it he would do the shoulder roll because he would roll it at the perfect. Floyd was great at watching you and timing you, and he would lure you in. When I say that, he did.
Yep.
Like a fucking coyote trying to get a dog into the woods for his homies. He would bring it in and get you, and then he would turn this way, and he would come back and catch you real quick.
Yep.
With the uppercut right to the snout, and it stopped people from coming in on him a lot. From just bum rushing him.
And what James Toney did himself. James Toney did not do a shoulder roll either. He did the Philly shell. There's a big difference. But Floyd took both those and he mastered. He made his own style. And you notice nobody else can do that. Everybody tries, but Floyd is the only one that's really mastered.
But that's why I called it, because it was
they call it shoulder roll.
Yeah, he rolled the shoulder to hit you with the counter.
He took both those styles and he adapted something totally different as an amateur. His dad and Roger had did that when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And we were seeing that in the amateurs, him doing that. Things that no one ever saw before.
Emilio X says, any tips on shoulder snap when power punching? Guys, listen, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Don't train. If you're not a power puncher, don't train to be a power puncher. unless you really have the patience and you're at the right age where somebody could really go back and break down your form, especially if you've been boxing for a long time or a good amount of time and you have a style. You may be able to tweak it a little bit and get a little bit more pop on or snap on your punch, but for the most part, it comes from years and years, and some fighters are just born with it. And it's the same thing as being a home run hitter and a leadoff hitter.
If you have power, it's from the cradle. Either you got it or you don't. You can add a little to it. It's like speed. You can only get so much faster. If you're not gonna wake up one day Vladimir Klitschko and you're not gonna go to bed Gary Russell Jr. It's just not gonna fucking happen. Either you got it or you don't.
Exactly.
What was it? And then what was the question? They were talking about that. But the power comes from your hips and legs. It doesn't come from your shoulders and back.
Leverage.
It's all leverage.
And the torque on a punch.
Yes.
And the leverage that you got on it and how you snap it and the way that you use the delt, your shoulder delt, the way you use the hip turn, the snap from the hips, the pivoting foot. It's so much behind it. And some guys' bodies just ain't made for that. Unless you're a big heavyweight like Mike Tyson or George Foreman, where you're 300 or 250 pounds of muscle and you learn how to box and use that muscle and you got those big heavy thudding punches. Other than that, no, you're not going to knock nobody out.
The best boxers ever and some of your world champions, what separates them from everybody else, and I'm sure Kelly's in a better position than I am, 100%. Their body's in homeostasis. That means their body works in perfect unison. Everything works together. When they throw that punch, their feet dig in, their calves, their knees turn, their hips turn. Everything turns at the same time at the same exact moment. And even to the twist of the punch, everything's perfect. Anything that's off just a little bit, you will not be a world champion. Those are the differences, the little and the big differences. Your body has to be in perfect unison. And am I right? Or everything's perfect. Mm-hmm. When you throw that punch, you feel it from your feet to the end of your fist, don't you?
No, you do it. And you go back, you watch any power puncher, the knockout punches, you see where even if it's a hook, when guys throw the hooks, watch how that front hip, their left hip, if it's orthodox, how they snap that hip and how that punch. Watch Felix Trinidad.
Oscar De La Hoya.
De La Hoya. Watch how they snap that. Yeah, it's a snap. It's the whole body comes with it, and it's quick.
Yeah. Dana said James is going to be posting dirty memes on Facebook all week. Probably, I would say it's a safe bet. My memes aren't that dirty, are they?
Is a bluebird blue? No.
They're not perverted, are they? Dude, the one about my girl, if she goes out with her 6 of her boys, make sure that she goes out with her friends, make sure there's 6 dudes so they can carry her coffin. That was fire.
Oh, dude, you have some fucking...
I've been writing those, man. I've been writing a lot of shit lately.
I keep holy water by my fucking phone at night when I see James's
you don't show Sam
by accident. I hurry up and spray my phone with the holy water.
That's sad because you got Pornhub on there too.
No, I don't. I don't watch. I can't watch Pornhub.
No, you can't. I watch Pornhub.
Get through it. I mean, I won't even get through fucking 2 seconds of it.
Do you show Sam my memes?
Yeah, I do.
What the fuck are you trying? Why you show her?
Certain ones, I got to. Oh. They're funny.
She don't laugh, does she?
Some of them she does, some no.
Justin doesn't laugh.
I laugh at him. I just can't like him.
Oh yeah, you got a business to run, don't you?
I laugh my ass off.
Does Marjorie like him?
I like him. If people get mad at me for that because I get them back on that, like with the attorney and everybody on the board, you got to watch your social media. And I'm going, how the hell did you guys hear about it? I felt like throwing him under the bus. Like, you got to see my co-host is, they don't know. And I'm going like, is that really like how it is if you got somewhat of a name? Like everybody really goes in and inspects, but they made a good point. They're like, if you're going to want them grants and this, and I'm waiting for them to tell me about this podcast, because they're going to be like, well, yeah, that James guy, though, he's over here talking about with Taylor Swift, cocaine and anal sex.
Of her ass? Yes.
Yeah, and anal sex. Yes. And, how do I stop? Like, I can't have a podcast. I know plenty of other people out there that are running nonprofits that get grants. Yeah. And half of them got felony records.
Dana says, would either of you let your kids box? Both my daughters did. My oldest was 5-1 and my youngest was 4-3. They both boxed as amateurs, young. They had their last fight like at 11 years old, so it wasn't for them. They didn't like it. It was more me wanting them to do something different.
Yeah, I don't want my son fighting.
I got my oldest playing volleyball, my youngest playing lacrosse and volleyball, so they're better off there. Yeah. And yours does everything, don't they?
Yeah, but the difference is like you get some parents that they do it, and especially like with football and high school sports,
yes,
they live their life through their kid. And they want their kids, and it's like, dude, listen. His parents are the worst. Yeah, I feel like telling them, like, your kid's probably not. And I understand, like, especially in Northeast Ohio, this is like the biggest high school. It's the biggest area of the country for sports or for football.
Yeah.
We put the most pros in the NFL, proven fact. We got the best recruits for Division I schools.
Yeah.
Well, we did. We're starting to slow down on that, but and I get it, like Friday Night Lights, high school sports is big. Mm-hmm. But dude, think about it, like them 4 years are gonna go that fast, and your kids may play for Westminster or YSU. You have all these big schools, and think about it, like mainly your kids from like Austintown. You get one from Austintown Fitch that may go to a D1 school. You know what I mean? Or Mooney, but Mooney's program has went down. So like, they get into that and they live their dream and they push that kid. Like everything is, you're going here after school and you're hitting the weights and you're going to this place, you're going to this camp. And then the kids usually by the time they're 22, they're fucking, they don't even watch football no more.
No. Thanks, Keon. James Stain coming with a fire. I love it. Felix says, James makes my memes look biblical. Meme king right there. Now, I wish I was. Lawrence Vaughn's the meme king.
Yeah.
I gave the name up. They're all going to friend that dude.
You know what? I feel bad though. I got to start finding some good ones, but that are nice. They're cute.
I sent you some good ones.
Some cute, funny ones.
Did I send you
some of your cute, funny ones?
I'll have to look. I'll send you some.
Yeah, the cute. You know which ones. I can't.
Call Florida and Texas put the most kids in the pros. Actually, Lamont, Youngstown, Ohio has.
All right, you done did it. Then we're getting off.
Youngstown, Ohio has more pros in the NFL than any other state, other city.
I don't know how old this is.
But it was a while ago. But no, you're right about California, Florida, and Texas. Those three states put a lot of players out. Thanks, Mac. I appreciate it. Shannon's watching, our girl Shannon. Dak says the legs being weakened is a myth. Chris Bird and his wife debunked on sports science. What do you got? You put it on there?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. He's pulling up some numbers on the NFL players going to, and from what city? From where?
Justin, is there a way I could get this close enough to the camera where I can see?
Lamont, though, Ohio puts a lot of pros out in the NFL. A lot of college players come out of Ohio. Fuck, Ohio State's whole
Bleacher
roster.
Report. What is that? Is that a big one?
Yeah, Bleacher Report, yes.
Okay. My Town Rocks, Youngstown, Ohio.
Ohio puts a lot of kids out in college and NFL, though, don't they?
They do, because all the number, like when I seen that, like number 2 was Cleveland, number 3 was like Akron.
Ohio, but shit, Ohio. Look at Ohio State, Michigan's roster. They're all Ohio people.
The city of Youngstown, Ohio, for this article.
Texas too, yeah.
I selected to put my Maurice Claret in forefront. Blah blah blah.
Where's that?
Hold on, I'm getting to it.
Some loading problem going on, Justin.
The stream's fine.
Okay. Just me.
Okay,
probably.
we're going back to it. Hold on, guys.
Oh.
4 Ohio cities in top 10 and producing NFL players.
Okay.
We're going to go to it. Youngstown tops the list, but let's see where the...
Youngstown, Ohio is number 1 on the list for producing NFL players.
Okay. The study based on cities with populations of at least 10,000.
Okay.
Youngstown has 10.6 players per capita on average that go to the NFL. Canton 7.5, Cincinnati 5.3, and Cleveland 5.2.
But what's the nationals between cities?
Others in the top 10s include 3 Pittsburgh 6.5, Birmingham, Alabama 6.5, Miami 6.0, Pensacola 5.7, St. Louis 5.6, and New Orleans 5.5.
Wow.
Youngstown with 50,000 people. You don't have that no more.
They have
50.
How many world champions Youngstown put out too?
5.
5 world champions. How many 11 total title holders though, right?
Yeah.
11 title holders.
And 10.6.
And 10.6 at a time.
The only one close to the second is Canton at 7.5.
Yep.
That's sick. Alabama's 6.5.
Roll Tide.
So
hey, but we got it, man. Great show today, though.
Absolutely, hit y'all with some knowledge.
Hey guys, great show today. Thank you for
See if they replied back to that one. I'm curious.
Well, I had problems with the thing
after hitting with
my
knowledge. Feed. Some knowledge.
Yeah, they're not saying much now,
okay.
But hey, great show today, Kelly.
Crickets.
Thank you, Justin. Great show.
Great show, guys.
We'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, it's not a show without you guys. What they gotta do, Kelly?
Go to YouTube too and just subscribe. I mean, it's free, guys. Just do that. Share
and like it.
Like it.
Also, my St. Jude's thing's going on. Remember my St. Jude's giveaway?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey guys, we're doing a St. Jude's donation. What I'm trying to do is I have a set of brand new winning training gloves that Kelly's gonna sign, and we're gonna auction them off. We're gonna do a silent auction. So if you're interested, put your bid in the messenger.
People are going to use them. They're going to be like, winning?
They're going to use them. They're winning. Fuck. Brand new winning gloves.
Yeah.
Winning's the best gloves in the world. They start about $250 a pair anyway. But they're going to have Kelly's autograph on them. And you can also...
I mean, $2. $2.
Fucking $2, right? You guys go ahead and put your bid in your silent bid in the messenger, and we'll pick the best bid, and you guys will win a set of gloves. And your money will go to a great cause. We'll post the check going directly to St. Jude to show you that we're not spending it on hookers. And there you go.
Or on Taylor Swift.
On Taylor Swift's flat ass. But that money goes 100% to St. Jude's, and maybe a little bit of it going to go to the Paralyzed Veterans of America.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Have a great weekend. You too,
We'll see
Kelly.
you Sunday.